Today I'm behind it with a brand new 2022 Kia Carnival. And the Carnival is the newest model within Kia's lineup that replaces the Kia Sedona. So does that mean the Carnival is the newest minivan within Kia's lineup? Well, it certainly doesn't look like one, and it certainly isn't equipped like one either. However, it does have power sliding doors. So just how good is this brand new Carnival? We'll keep watching and find out. So before I go for a drive, first let me show you the outside and talk about all the features you'll find inside this brand new Carnival. Now, one of the reasons why the Carnival does not feel like a minivan is due to the exterior looks. This Carnival looks big, butch, bulky, bold, aggressive. It does not look like all the other minivans out there that is round and feminine and curvy. No, the Carnival looks like a SUV. It looks like a brand new SUV within Kia's lineup. Look at that front end, the new Tiger grille that spreads out from one side to another. Very, very unique looking, has a 3D shape to it. And look at the chrome surround and those beautiful daytime running lights and LED headlights. Very unique styling, and I love it. I think it looks fantastic. And look underneath, the bumper does have some silver and chrome cladding. And with this SX Prestige, you do get LED fog lights as well. The front end definitely does not look like any other minivan out there, and that's a fantastic thing. Now, moving to the side of this Carnival, it looks like a big crossover SUV. It has that bulky and squared off look. Again, nothing is rounded or curvy. On top, you do see silver roof rails, which is really nice, really beefy looking, looks like they belong on an SUV, and then matches the silver door handles, the silver door garnish underneath, and also that giant aluminum piece that separates the back. You could see it's huge, and it just adds a little bit to the side. And on this SX Prestige, you can see these black 19-inch wheels. Overall, the side profile of this Carnival, just like the front, looks absolutely stunning. Now, moving to the back of the Carnival, just as futuristic and SUV looking as the side and the front. You can see on top, you do have that shark fin antenna, a large spoiler, large privacy glass, and then look at the very distinctive looking LED tail lights. Very, very nice. I spread one side to the other. You also see the brand new Kia badge, which actually looks pretty darn good. And finally, underneath, you do see that silver garnish on the lower bumper, and I love the back end of this Carnival as well. Now, as for that tailgate, it's powered, but also has a hands-free feature. So basically, you just stand behind it for about 3 seconds, the tailgate will automatically open. Pretty cool. Now, inside, if you have the third row seats folded down, you can see how much space you have behind the second row. It is enormous. It's massive. You have some cubby holes on the left side, some plugs on the right side, and if you do have the third row folded down, you could go to the second row and lay down almost completely. This SX Prestige comes with VIP lounge seats and allows you to slide the seats really, really, really far back and lay down almost completely flat. So I'm 5'10", and with the lounge seats all the way back, this is a pretty comfortable laying position. So if you wanted to go on a long road trip, these seats are fantastic for taking a nap. Now, these seats are also configurable in many, many different ways. You have power switches on the inside, which allow you to lean back and also adjust the seat back. But if you wanted to, you could also slide these seats forward and backwards and slide them side to side too. It's something that you have to get used to, because when you slide the seats outwards, you can't slide back all the way, but you still can slide forward and backwards, and you still have plenty of leg room. Now, if you want to generate that middle space to get into the third row, then you do have to slide the seats outwards on both sides to generate that space. Now, there's one weird thing about these seats, and that is there's no way to slide them forward to make room to get into the third row. You actually have to physically always go through the middle, which is kind of weird. There's no button to press, there's no latch to pull on. These seats are fixed and you have to go in between the two. When you get in the third row, the seats are pretty comfortable. With the second row slid up a little bit, I still have leg room and I still have headroom, and the seats are fairly high off the ground. Now, passengers both sides get one USB port and plenty of cup holders, and also sunshades for the third row. Now, moving to second row, I've already talked about these seats and you can adjust them 100 different ways. Also, this one is configured with these entertainment screens that's right in front of you, great for the kids. And you can see it's pretty responsive, and you can see YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, among other things. The only problem with these screens are they can't be adjusted. They're fixed, so I can't tilt them up or down or sideways or moving in and out. So for adults, they're actually sitting pretty low. Now, besides the screens, you also get heated and ventilated seats for second row. Now, besides ventilated and heated seats, you also get USB ports. You also get a household outlet, a 12V outlet. You get climate controls on top, sunshades, and a power sunroof. Now, moving on front, this Carnival does not look like it's a minivan. This interior, this dash, the center console, the use of aluminum and black trim and these giant screens, they make you feel like you're in a luxury SUV. Now, you get two large screens inside this SX Prestige. One is replacing your gauge cluster. Everything is digital, so you have a digital speedometer and tachometer. And in the middle, you can scroll through various things such as your safety system, your drive info, navigation, tire pressure, TPMS, and other things. Also, it changes depending on your drive mode. So you have normal, eco, sport, smart, and they all look a little bit different. Inside this SX Prestige, you also get two memory seats, a whole bunch of buttons for your power sliding doors and your power trunk. Also, you do get power folding mirrors. Now, this other giant screen, of course, is your infotainment system, and this is among the best in the industry. It's very bright, very, very responsive, and you could see I can scroll left and right, and it is very, very smooth. Also, inside this Carnival, you have a couple cool features. One is called passenger view, so you could actually see what's going on behind you without needing to turn your head. You can also talk to your passengers in the back too. Really, really cool. And by the way, I forgot, there is actually a talk button in the second row on top too. In case you wanted to command the Carnival to do something, you could utilize that button. This Carnival also comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and this one comes with a 360 view camera system. So if you do put it into reverse, you can see there's many views that you can select from that shows you what's behind you, and also a top 360 view of what's around your Carnival. Very bright, very nice. Underneath the screen, you have a volume knob, you have some quick navigating buttons, and underneath that, you have climate control. Pretty easy to figure out. And if you move down a little more, you have 3 USB ports, you have a wireless charger, you have a traditional shifter. Kia makes a point to use traditional shifters, and if you want to manually shift, if you want to sport shift with this Carnival, you can. Inside this SX Prestige, you also have heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, your sensors, and of course, I already talked about your 360 view system. On top, you have controls to control your 2 power sunroofs. And finally, underneath the mirror, you do have home link buttons. All right, I'm behind the wheel. Let's see how good this brand new Carnival is and see how it drives. First impression is, once you hop into the driver's seat and you take off, it definitely feels like a crossover SUV. It doesn't feel like a minivan. I think Kia did a fantastic job designing this Carnival so that you don't feel like you're driving around a minivan. So you don't feel like you're a soccer dad or you're a soccer mom. You're sitting high off the ground. The seats are fairly high up. I would say this is equivalent to a mid-sized crossover SUV. You're sitting high up. You have plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, hip room, of course. Space is not an issue inside, but you have a really commanding view of the road. The hood is so slanted. Sitting here, I can't see any part of the hood. So front visibility is fantastic. Front windshield is enormous, and side windows also enormous with big mirrors, and visibility out the back. I can see clearly out the back, and side visibility, blind spot are all fantastic. Now, what's also really impressive is this ride right now. It is very, very impressive. The suspension is really nice, really soft around town. The extra wheelbase, the extra length definitely helps when going over the bumps. Now, this Carnival is equipped with 19-inch wheels, so the sidewall is a little bit thinner than if you had smaller wheels. So over the rough potholes, I do feel a little more, but over smooth pavement around town, it definitely feels very nice. Also, a side note, this steering wheel feels fantastic. This is a new age Kia steering wheel. You'll find this in many, many other Kia cars and SUVs, but this is a good one. It looks good, and you have buttons on the right and left that controls your volume, your modes, your scrolling, your adaptive cruise control. But the leather feels really, really nice in your hands. It's the right thickness, the right cushion, and the leather feel is absolutely fantastic. It actually makes you want to drive this Carnival. It's that good. Now, while I'm sitting here, let me reflect a little bit more upon this cabin, because it definitely does not feel like any other minivan. This is light years better than the brand new Sienna and the brand new Odyssey. I mean, this is really light years better in terms of fit and finish, quality, looks, touch. I mean, whatever description there is, this is just so much better. Kia spent so much time designing this Carnival's interior, and it really shows. It really does. Now, these seats up front are also fantastic. I love the contrast on this SX Prestige. These are actually real leather, not synthetic leather. And the dark tan versus black, I love it. I'm a sucker for contrast, and I really love the interior, especially with this color scheme. Now, up front, the seats are very, very comfortable, well bolstered, but not too aggressive. Bottom cushion also very wide for wide hips, but I'm not sliding around, right? A lot of leather seats suffer from being too slippery, where you're taking a corner, you bend, you're like sliding around in your seat. That's not the case with these seats up front, yet they're still comfortable, supportive, and comfortable. And it's the same thing with the second row, almost as nice as these front seats. But you could argue maybe they're a little bit nicer because you can literally, just lay down and go to bed. So they're really nice in the second row. And third row isn't too bad either for adults, but really should be reserved for kids. Something else that's fantastic about this Carnival is the cabin noise. Virtually none. No wind noise, very little from the cars passing by, just slightly from the road and suspension. So I do hear a little bit when I'm going over imperfections like this. I can hear a little bit. But outside of that, it's a really, really quiet ride. So it's fantastic. If you wanted to yell at your kids in a third row, you can. Or you could just use passenger talk. That's a little bit easier. Okay, just test acceleration from 0 to 60. I was in sport mode, and the front tires were chirping. It throws you off because you're spinning the wheels, yet you're not moving very quick. So speed and acceleration is not a strong suit with this Carnival. Though on paper, it's not bad. It's a 3.5 liter. 290 horsepower, about 262 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic. So if you compare that to others in this class, that's actually class leading. That's a little bit more power than the others. But when you're, fully accelerating, it doesn't feel as quick. I believe this Carnival is just not geared as aggressive as some of the others. I know that like a Honda Odyssey to me feels faster. I mean, a Honda Odyssey almost feels too fast around town. Yet it has less power. The Sienna, not even close because of the new hybrid setup. And the Pacifica also feels pretty good, and it feels slightly faster than this. So even though this has more power, I feel like the gearing is slowing it down somewhat. And even around town, when you're not fully gunning it and you're just, you're just cruising around, I do feel like at times it does feel slightly underpowered. Another thing that's a little disappointing is how this Carnival takes corners. Now, I already talked about suspension. They're very nice. When you're going straight, it's very smooth and comfortable. But when you're taking a corner or a hard bend or any kind of turning at all, you do feel like this Carnival just wobbling around. Like it's very top heavy, and the whole cabin is just swaying left and right. So You do get that. So again, this is not a corner carver. This is not a dragster. This is a family hauling vehicle. But I will say one of the weak points of this Carnival is how floaty it is around corners, and it definitely does not feel as tight or planted as, say, a crossover SUV. So how safe is this Carnival? Well, Kia gives you everything inside this SX Prestige. So front warning, front braking, rear warning, rear braking, lane warning, lane keep assist, all included. Blind spot monitoring included. Also adaptive cruise control, that's included. I mean, as you can see, everything. And also what's really nice is if you're trying to make a lane change, you could also see what's in your blind spot. It shows right in front of you inside this digital gauge cluster. So you could see if you're making a left, it'll show you what's in your left blind spot and right, and what's in your right blind spot. So in terms of safety systems, you get everything. The only one thing I wish this Carnival offered was all-wheel drive, and it doesn't. So that's the one thing I wish Kia would add on later on, all-wheel drive, and I think that's going to increase sales of this Carnival tremendously, especially in areas that get a lot of snow. Oh yeah, this Carnival also tells you what the speed limit is. It'll tell you if you're speeding. It also pays attention to if you're paying attention to the road, and it tells you if you accidentally left someone in the back. So yeah, it does tell you those things too. For me, this is my favorite minivan, or aka MPV. And I've tested them all. I've driven the brand new Pacifica, the Pinnacle one too. Also new Sienna, new Odyssey. And this is my favorite. There's so much to love about this Carnival. The outside, the beautiful looks, how it doesn't look like a minivan. Also, it is extremely spacious on the inside in all rows, even behind the third row. You get all the latest gadgets that others don't even offer. It also drives nice. It's very, very quiet and smooth, and it's just comfortable all around. So when you combine all those things, yes, this is my favorite MPV out there. So next up, let me summarize the good and bad to the brand new Carnival so you can decide if this is a right minivan or MPV for you. There are 5 trim levels to the brand new Carnival. The base LX starts right above $32,000. Then you have the LX with the C package, which is $2,000 more. Then the EX comes in at $37,600, the SX at $41,000, and finally the range-topping SX Prestige, which starts over $46,000. To conclude, the brand new 2022 Kia Carnival is the best minivan, or aka MPV, that you could buy today. The exterior looks fantastic and is as close to a SUV look as it gets, and inside, the Carnival is extremely spacious and comfortable for families. The VIP lounge chairs in the second row is the best I've ever tested. The dual rear screens, the multiple USB ports, the built-in intercom system, sunshades, ventilated heated seats will make any long road trip a breeze. The front cabin in the Carnival is also luxury-like with big screens, a ton of safety systems, and features to keep parents happy. The Carnival also drives very quiet, it's comfortable, and sits high off the ground. And lastly, the Carnival is thousands less than its rivals. The negative to the brand new Carnival includes a lackluster acceleration, the inability to adjust rear displays, no ability to tilt the second row seats to access the third row, and also no all-wheel drive. I'm giving the brand new 2022 Kia Carnival SX Prestige a score of 102, which easily wins the top spot within the minivan category. To see the rankings, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out these 2 other videos.